is all a lie, all caught up in paradise, running away from everything real, everything that hurts to feel. All you know is all that you've put up to keep you from the truth, a wall to keep out all the hurt, only to keep out all it's worth. All along you thought that you were better off if all you knew was gold. All along you've been a fool, and it's getting old. All you do is all routine, careful schedule meant to clean your heart of anything that might disturb the peace and cause a fight. All you do is bury your head, you know you might as well be dead. Once you find the good, you'll learn to take the bad when it's your turn. All along you thought that you
Kutero is a village that's famous because of
better off.
the refuge for bears, but we also call it the refuge for bears and people. And it's also famous or well known because of traditional lifestyle and carpentry and coexistence with the wilderness. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to start this project here in the mountains. It's far away from any city. We wanted to put all these activists that are mostly living in big cities in a place where they have to be disconnected from civilization, and then to become connected with nature, but also with other people that will be working on the campaign together throughout the year.
Last year we tried to come up with looking at peace education, like how far can we go with STI, and one of the ideas in there was to create a worldwide campaign actually with all of STI branches, groups and partners, trying to focus on one of the most challenging issues we are looking at like worldwide, which is climate change, where lots of communities are impacted, are hit actually by more and more. Most important terms we came up with was looking at climate justice.
Climate justice for me is really about challenging some of the inequalities that exist in how climate change impacts people. First of all, the communities that are more heavily affected by climate change, generally speaking, are in the global south and are not the ones responsible for the causes of climate change. And I see a huge inequality around that. Second of all, the generational inequality. The young people of today, who are mainly who I work with, are going to be the ones who inherit the effects of our behaviour and the worst kind of scenarios that will come about from some of the lifestyle choices that we've made. And I see a huge inequality around that.
But climate justice in itself is more something positive, like how we will deal with this in a just way. What for me feels broad, but in another way it's something we can do in our daily life, taking concrete steps.
Climate justice for me is the right for every human being to live in a healthy environment, not to suffer from water shortages or from hunger or from polluted environment, but to have right to live in healthy environment. Regardless some actions which are happening on the other side of the globe, I think that everyone should concern their behavior and to try to act in the most responsible way, in the way that we are not wasting resources too much, but to be conscious about our consumption and
The
our
current system of
lifestyle habits.
kind of free market economy, capitalist, endless growth kind of model is in decline. For various different reasons, because of the limited resources that are on hand. They're having to work much harder to get the same resources.
The reason I feel really positive about climate justice is the fact that we can change the way we are living right now, and in doing so create environments and communities and lifestyles that I think are better for us personally, for our communities and for the planet. And I don't think it has to be something that we should be scared of or fearful of. I think there's some amazing possibilities out there with permaculture, community-supported agriculture, eco-villages. There's so many positive alternatives to the way we're living now, and that's what gets me feeling very positive about climate change and climate justice.
And see also what can we do and what should we do and what should we actually stop doing to help ourselves and also other communities, other societies around the globe where SCI is active, actually together in a way that actually allows us to have positive, nurturing relations with each other, with the environment, with ourselves, and try to find this kind of peaceful approach, actually, because the climate change is a huge challenge, actually, for the already kind of unstable political situations that we are having, for the social situations that we are having. People have to move, so we have climate refugees around the world. And part of actually climate justice is accepting that these people have to move and they have to go somewhere, so we have to provide a way for them to live, because we can't just let them die. I mean, we are partly responsible, at least, for what is happening, so we should also provide solutions and help people around the world actually dealing with that.
We have many people coming just for short, but also lots of people coming for longer to help and to volunteer, and also to learn from the community. So it's in the same time learning from the bears and from nature, but also from people that live. No, it's not even just close to the bears, but also together with the bears and the wilderness, which, if we would all live like that, we would not be in this global climate crisis. So we have a lot to learn from the village, and also to try maybe to go back to nature in a simple way. It's not complicated, it's not science, it's just life.
So I hope with our campaign and more practically with our work camp at our eco-village, that we will have an effect on people, so that they will make changes in their daily life, and that they can also feel that they can do something, that everyone can feel part of this, and that this spreads also, that people who go to the work camp, that they also go home and spread this idea, and that it's like a multiplying effect.
But rather than attacking that system, the much more effective way is just to create other systems, so that when that system is completely is gone to the point beyond kind of saving, then it's psychologically people are much more likely to just latch onto something else that's already there, rather than trying to create something from scratch, and that's how you kind of create a new system.
That's actually something that is good for everyone, because as the sooner we learn how to deal with that, actually, the better we will become also when the climate change hits us, like here, for example, in Croatia. But I mean, it's already happening. So, but also in Germany, where I personally come from, there is small signs of climate change, but the real change is going to come in the next 10, 20 years at latest. And the sooner we start actually to help others with dealing with that, the sooner we will know how to deal with it ourselves, and how as a society become more resilient to this strange idea of this military economy, where it says if we need something, we just go there and grab the land, grab the material, the resources that we need, and that is definitely not a peaceful way of dealing with these kinds of issues.
We were trying to discover these days how the climate justice and peace is connected, but we were actually very close to the answer, because we had a lot of conflicts happening here, as everybody knows. And the last one that happened was in Kosovo, between Kosovo and Serbia. And when we were talking about the wars in the Balkans, we were always talking about the economy, about the money, mostly about the nationalism and hate between people, but we actually never touched the question of resources and mines here, and these are maybe the core cause of the conflict that is continuing happening after the conflict. So we have a peace right now, but still it's a tempted bump in the Balkans, especially in Kosovo, because the fact that Kosovo is a third country in Europe and fifth in the world by richness of coal, that is raising a lot of questions, like why the conflict still exists, why the negotiations are going so slow, and I think that in this sense, climate justice, climate changes are very much connected with peace and with the role of SCI dealing with this issue.
And so SCI as a movement, we are trying to highlight and help the communities who are already dealing with it, and we're trying to help them become sustainable, or it's not an easy task, and we're trying to right now gather all the experience that has already been collected worldwide in our movement, and we're looking forward to actually see how this develops throughout this whole campaign throughout the year, and see in what kind of beautiful ways this campaign can actually grow and inspire all of us to work for climate justice, to work for a world which is more just in the way that we help each other, that equality actually is achieved on more levels than it is right now, because right now it's quite unequal in many ways.
Undecided, I won't make up my mind in a hurry to please you, only to find it's my indecision that keeps you around, my hopelessness that keeps you grounded. Hold me to silence and I won't complain, 'cause it's all that I know, and it's all the same as the sun in your eyes on a hot summer's day, a cold winter's night with nothing to say. Tell me you're leaving and I'll follow suit, as it lose all direction in hot pursuit of the fire that you left burning inside. It's dark here without it, it's out of sight.
What is very important, and is one of the main aim of the campaign, is to try to increase the sense of belonging to a wider community. So to overcome this individualism, which is really one of the characteristics of our culture nowadays, and to try to reason in a broader way, taking care of our planet, because it's the only one we have.
Don't get me wrong, you might be missed.
We're here at La Città Utopia, a project of SCI Italy. It's a project that's been implemented for the last 10 years, focusing on 3 issues. It's a project of active citizenship, focusing also on sustainable way of life issues and intercultural issues.
He's from SCI Space. It's a branch of SCI, a new one. And they are very worried that we are going to come to them. So they want to prepare some volunteers because they need to prepare them because they're afraid that anyone who could be coming could mess up also the space as they messed up the earth.
It's a project based in south of Rome, so really strongly connected to the local community. So the local citizens, the local organizations that are fully involved and invited to propose, to create and to share experiences and activities for the rest of the community. So it's a really bottom-up and based project inside the community, local community.
I feel very good. I got a lot of motivation and I refreshed my reasons why I actually go this way of sustainable life and why I want to inform as much people as possible.
I think it is the biggest gain of this whole camp, just to meet and feel this energy and really to experience people who are doing something practical, have many ideas, implement their ideas, and to share this knowledge and to get inspired.
I had a lot of expectations for the training here in Rome, and I'm really glad that after the week of workshops and training that I feel like a lot of my expectations have been met. I really feel like I can go back to Ireland with a clear sense of what it means to create a workshop and to be a leader, and I feel very confident that I can facilitate a group of volunteers on the issue of climate justice.
Well, to tell you honestly, I think the most influential part for me was how important it is to build up a good group and how the trainers here helped us to become a good group with different games and different trainings. I really felt that I got a lot of very good information about social inclusion, exclusion and different global and also European problems that we can solve as volunteers.
Well, actually the whole training was really amazing and I learned a lot of things, but I would say that getting the chance to enhance my knowledge about permaculture, eco-village and how to live in a very peaceful way with the environment is the most beneficial part for me. Because honestly, for example, I didn't know about fair trade products before, and I like the fact that even here during the training we've been using only local and organic food.
For me it's very important to say that it's every one of us. Every one of us has a responsibility. It doesn't matter in which country you live. I think it's very important to share your knowledge, to share what you believe in.
Trainers is very nice. Yeah, I so enjoy. Really.
He thinks he made an influence on the minds and also on the hearts of the participants.
For me, I think the most influential part of the training was having the UN expert come to talk to us.
So it's adaptation, what you need to look into and look for simple practices of how the communities can better adapt to the impacts of climate change. So if you can approach organizations which are working with adaptation, that could be probably good for you.
And I think because at home I'm a secondary school teacher, I teach children between the ages of 13 and 19, and one of the areas that the UN experts spoke about was the role that education can play in climate justice and in promoting sustainable living.
Because mitigation, okay, you can talk to them about mitigation, that they need to consume less and things like that, but probably in the places where you're going to work, they already consume quite not very much. But the message is, when you will increase your welfare, you just reflect about it. You just reflect about what is really necessary, how much you consume, and why. And that will be my message. So you can approach organizations that are reflecting about this consumption chains and how you can optimize that.
Well, we were trained here to be a work camp leader, so it was very influential for me, all these different methods we use, informal learning, how can we share the knowledge and collaborate together as well at the same time. And the message I bring home is definitely reduce, reuse, recycle, and share what you know, share and accept also the knowledge from others. So this kind of idea of sharing and improving by sharing.
I'm so passionate and I feel really happy that after acquiring all these skills in the training, and I would like to, I can't wait actually to go back home and share what I learned in the training and try to convince them to, for example, join us in boycotting some companies.
Climate justice is, according to him, not to change anything in the nature.
The people who are suffering the most from the climate changes are the people who are the least responsible for them. That's why I also feel more responsibility and to engage myself more, because we are in Europe and contribute more and also have more resources to change something. So I believe climate justice means really to do your best to stop the climate change.
I think as I'm coming from quite a rich country, I really have to reflect every day about what is climate justice and what it has to do with climate change, because I can use the water, I have drinking water everywhere.
For me, climate justice is about understanding what a carbon footprint is and understanding your own carbon footprint. So the impact that you have on the environment by the day-to-day activities that you partake in. And I think once you're aware of your own carbon footprint, you can think about ways of reducing it. I think that's one thing.
Well, for the first thing, I try to do the small things back home, like saving energy, putting off light, reducing the heating, or like when I leave the apartment, I turn the heating completely off. Like on small things, also by cooking, not having taking care of the fire. So small steps, but as well recycling, and not lowering my consumption to the most important things, not going to the supermarket for every small thing or changing things, always buying something new.
In conjunction with that, it's also about ethical consumerism. I think that's a really important part of climate justice. To think before you buy, to maybe do some research about the brands or the companies that you're buying from, and to have more of a ethic or knowledge before you go shopping, or to think, do you really need something? Do you really need a product? I think a lot of the time the way that we are acting in the developed world is impacting a lot on mostly in developing countries.
You have the same water everywhere. You have also, if you want to flush your toilet, you have drinking water. So what I'm really trying to do is to save as much as water as possible.
And I think our choices as consumers are creating a very unequal society. For example, us buying bottled water we're taking up maybe a water resource from another country, or as a consequence of our actions, we're contributing to the desertification of land. And I think that's something that we need to be really aware of, that sustainability and climate justice are really linked, and really we have a choice as consumers to do something about it, to make an improvement.
The mentality of the Western society to always want to grow and always get more and more. Yeah, I feel responsible. I want to know where my food is coming from. I want to know where my clothes are coming from. I want to know what I'm consuming, and if it's actually necessary to buy certain things, or is it just a kind of a luxury?
Well, we can walk, it's so healthy, to lose also calories, but also we can cycle, which is not dangerous, like it's not gonna damage your environment. Or also we can use the community sharing, because through the community sharing, it's true that you share knowledge and ideas, but also you can, for example, agree if you are living in a whole building to share the same car and to share the same machines, washing machines. So this is one of the ways that you can use actually to decrease your consumptions and to decrease polluting your environment.
What he thinks about the relationship between human and the nature is that a human is a part of the nature, as the same as, for example, flower and as trees and anything.
Yeah, very good. And so European people in 24 hours in enjoy. So many enjoyments, and that enjoyments is good. Then service is very good. Please do service.
Well, I find that volunteering is it's different than paid work, not just because it's not because it's unpaid, but because it has a different purpose and it's something you do in your free time. And I believe free time is the most valuable resource one person has, and what you decide to do in your free time is something that really has to be meaningful for you. And that's why volunteering is the way to implement what you really believe in. And you do it from your heart, and you do it because of the cause, and you really want to do something for the others as well. And you benefit in different ways. The material way, it's your personal personality, you meet people, gain cultural experience, you can improve in so many ways that this material thing isn't even required.
I volunteer to contribute to civil society, to show people that rewards aren't always monetary, but that we can find rewards in things in other ways. I think volunteering for me makes me feel more confident in our ability to create good communities. And I think it also helps me in my own profession as a teacher to learn new skills, to feel that what I'm doing is something positive.
It's something without money, and I think money is already a very high value in our society, and I don't want to be, I mean, of course I'm also depending on money. I'm not depending on money, but things I'm doing, and of course I also need money, but volunteering is something where I don't think about money.
A way that I would encourage people to volunteer would be to talk to them about my experiences, and that it's very much a two-way street. You're not giving all the time, but you're receiving a lot of rewards from volunteering.
I don't pressure myself. I mean, of course I try my best, but it comes from myself because this is my motivation, that I can share what I am, and I don't, there's not the end product that I have in front of my eyes, that I need this money.
So the reason why he thinks it's good to volunteer is that volunteers are participating out of the economical system, which is unsustainable, and they develop their self-initiative.
Well, volunteering for me is really priceless because money cannot buy happiness, but I can tell you that after like 3 or 4 years of volunteering that yes, volunteering can buy happiness. It enables you to feel this inner satisfaction that you are really an active citizen and you're not just a passive consumer. And also it feels really good when you volunteer to help other people. And as you know, peace starts with the smile that you manage to put on other people's lives.
It's more than just studying to gather information, to learn something, to do presentations, because then you have like these theoretical things. But in the end, I'm a quite active person that like to do active things.
The way to have a voice, actually, it's your right, and you should really enjoy it. And it is a duty also towards your own community.
I think that I want to have children, and I want that my children will have such a nice life that I had in my childhood, that they can drink the drinking water, that they can that they have something of the nature. So I think volunteering for this campaign for Create a Climate for Peace is a future investment for me.
Please volunteer, and you will really feel self-respect and satisfaction that you've never felt before. You cannot really explain what you feel.
We have had a volunteer from India, and we asked him to share with us his spiritual life, and he was teaching us to sing some songs and mantras, which is very interesting for intercultural exchange. But it's also connected to environment, because nature is made out from spirit. So if we connect to spirit, we connect to nature, and we find the balance which today is missing. And we open doors to grow the consciousness. Because of the lack of consciousness, today the world is in a big mess. And that's all he has to say about this.
Thank you. Namaste. Dhanyawad.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How is it? Nice.
We want everyone to be involved, both at individual and branch level. We want actually SCI volunteers to be the change they want to see in the world. And there are again many different ways for doing it. The first is for sure to try to get more information about what's going on and to raise awareness about it. And then try to challenge and shift our behavior. So being more attentive to what we consume, what we buy, how we travel, and all these kind of things, which do make a difference. And then one of the easy way for getting inspired and getting to know more about the campaign is to join one of the activities.
We've got to move on. There's another place with a faraway taste waiting for us down this road, waiting for us down this road.
We don't want to only talk about sustainability issues, but we also want to live it. Söderbyn is a small community with around 10 to 15 persons, and our idea or our vision is to create a permaculture eco-village. So we would like to design the place in that way that it can sustain ourselves, if you think about food or energy or other aspects of our lives.
Well, I feel really positive about everything that we experience here for the 10 days. I will definitely bring that mood home, but also maybe a little bit of knowledge about how permanent agriculture can work and how the community can work, and also a bit different relationships between people than maybe I'm used to. I think that's definitely something I'll bring home.
The work camp is trying to help us with these different aspects that we have in our community. Like they are helping us in the garden. They are helping us with painting a cabin we have. And also we are doing workshops for them, so they learn about permaculture a little bit and also about eco-villages. What are eco-villages? What does it mean, permaculture? And we do some exercises with them.
Maybe I expected a little bit more work. It was more focused on study than I expected, but it was good. I'll definitely try to buy more local. That's, I think, I didn't really think about it before, and I'll definitely think about it from now on. And maybe I'll try to have a little garden somewhere.
Then in the end, the volunteers, they also made an action in Visby. They did it by themselves together with us, and it was about food and the sustainability of food. Where does our food come from? So how long it travels. So we had, for example, a small market in Visby where we had food samples, and we gave away like local and organic food to people and try to explain the ingredients and where they are coming from, and that you can find them, for example, on Gotland. We also gave away seeds that they can plant their own vegetables at home. And then at the same time we had also the volunteers walked around in a big milk carton or milk package to bring awareness about the milk production and the life of the cows in the milk industry.
Well, it's definitely totally different than going somewhere to work for money, because when you're volunteering you can actually learn something, and the relationships between people are totally different, and it's more relaxed.
Some volunteers did a photo exhibition, and it was called "How Far from the Tree Does the Apple Fall?" They had an apple from Gotland and an apple from South America, and for the apple from South America they run 10 kilometers, and for the apple from Ghana they didn't need to run, and then they took pictures of this of their faces, so how they looked when they didn't run, how they looked when they ran 10 kilometers, and then they make this exhibition of their faces and of their expressions, and it's like to bring awareness about how the food, how much it travels and how much impact it has on the environment.
Also, the feeling after work is a little bit different. It's better because doing something for somebody else not only works for the other person, but it's also good for you. If I work for somebody else, I have a very good feeling. That's precious.
Set up the farm, it's about people and people's experiences, and we grow some crops as a pick your own type situation, so that we don't pick at all for that reason, to actually draw people down in a sense. So without people on the land, we wouldn't have our type of farm. It's a community farm. Now our structure is a bit unusual that the community also own everything you see on the farm. So they own the tunnels, they own the equipment. And it was particularly set up that way. Having said that, both of us are not that interested so much in the money end of it. It's more lifestyle is what we're after. We couldn't take on the diversity that we do have down there. For instance, seed saving. I was a commercial grower about 20 years ago, and basically I would never save seed. It just wouldn't be commercially viable. Sustainable farming means that it has the ability to be able to renew itself in a sense. So for us, the key to it is diversity. So we look at a broad range of crops, and that gives us basically sustainability. If we look at, I suppose, during the summer we might have up to 30 different crops available to the members, and then come winter time that would whittle down to 15 or 12, and then you'd have the Hungry Gap coming at the end of May, June, and then the whole thing kicks off again. So for groups like yourselves to come on the farm, Kevin and I both after spending the week with you, we really felt this great surge of energy and interest. And politically, you're quite strong. You definitely have strong ideas in, just global issues or whatever. The reason we farm the way we farm is taking on those issues on the ground in a sense, and how would it roll out in food production. The bringing people on the land for us makes the thing happen. It's the wheel, it's the that keeps the thing going, and there's a sharing as well. So economics, it's important. It's important that we have crops to eat. That's definitely our main focus, is to get the crops out, but for us it's about bringing as many people as we can. And the one thing about it is there's always food available on the farm. So winter time, it'd be the kales and the dark green veg that have all the sustenance in them, and then the summer, then it's the the salady stuff and the maybe more tasty, sugary, sweet, but so there's a time for that too. But the thing is, the lifestyles we have created for ourselves are really busy, so people don't have the time or can't make the time, and it's a bit sad, to be honest. So for us then it's that lifestyle of being able to, okay, we're full-time farmers, so in a sense maybe it's easy for us to say, I should come down for a few hours, but it's also an opportunity for people to, as I say, see how the crops are grown, but to tap into our inheritance. Like, we've been farming for 10,000 years. It's part of who we are and what we are. I think if you really want to understand what you're about, I think you have to get your hands dirty a little bit and just immerse yourself in that growing thing, you know, from seed to plate, from seed to crop, you know, and you see all what happens in between. And that familiarity, I think it helps you to develop, to understand yourself. It's like why we have pets in the house. It's usually for the children to understand, apart from their companionship, that they live and die, you know, and there's that whole cycle in between. So, and then us diversifying even more. We don't have a lot of animals at the moment, but that's where we want to go next. Bring in the pigs and the sheep and all, and then that's another experience again. So the idea behind a biodynamic farm would be that all the inputs come from within the farm. It takes maybe 5 years, 6 years just to get from conventional land, in a sense, right into biodynamics. And to do it as a community gives you all that backup as well. It's not dependent on one person. A lot of farms now are run by 2 or 3 people, could run 200 acres. And then to make a living off farming, you're looking at 200 acres minimum. You know, we have 4 acres down there. Well, maybe 5 that we're cropping. And yet we're feeding 60 families and could easily feed another 20 or 30. So for all your good efforts on the farm, unfortunately we can't come out with pots of gold, but I can offer you something maybe better than gold, which is in principle anyway. And in practice what it amounts to are these heads of rye. So, and I'm offering each one of you a head of rye, cereal. And within that head of rye there are about 50 seeds. And I said, with the fact that all of you guys are from all around the world, would mean that if I gave you carrots and cabbages and stuff, you just have to eat them here and then, and that'll be that. You know, whereas the rye represents a lot. First of all, we've been farming for 10,000 years as a race, you know, as a human race, and cereals have been the backbone of the development of farming. I can give you a fertility from this rye, because if you go and save those or sow those 50 seeds, each rye plant can give you up to 6,000 kilometers of root. It's hard to believe, but if you add all the bits of root together, that'll break down and create humus in the soil, which will give you some fertility. Or it allows you to bake something from it, or whatever. And it's probably the most valuable thing in principle that I could offer you. And as I say, when you have the seeds to something, then all you need is to nurture, and it's away. So blessings, and thank you for all your help.
Thank you very much.
Picking my way back through the rain, grey skies today, but it's fine. Here in my mind, play like a child, leaves underfoot. Autumn could turn out to be musically mine. Spring in my step, I stayed up till dawn again, drinking with friends, moments it feels so alive. It feels so alive.
This was the first work camp in Kosovo within the campaign Create Climate for Peace, so-called ideal work camp. So we tried to make it ideal also for the future.
I'm in love with the Balkans and I always come back, and I had never been to Kosovo. And it has been 2 very, very tough but interesting and exciting weeks. It has been tough because it's a different lifestyle than what I'm used to.
I like the history of Balkans, and because there is a mixed culture of religion, culture, and history.
I like especially here Roma community, because
I see there is so much energy, so much creation, so many talents.
In the same time, it was challenging to have it for the first time in Roma Mahala in Gračanica with people that we didn't know from before.
Roma people from Plemitina, the common language, the most words that we are using are Serbians. So whatever we don't have in Roma.
Yeah, but we have the Serbian dictionary
and we don't have that in Roma.
So we left some expectations open, and that actually created space for us to develop contacts and let's call them synergies for more work in future in Gračanica related to Roma kids, but also environmental issues, especially energy. It has been very exciting because I've met many different people from ethnical, social, very different backgrounds and personalities, characters. In particular, I've learned a lot about the Roma community.
From the kids, from the others, they're able to sing. When they play with nothing, even with a stick or with a stone, and it's enough for all the day. That's really amazing.
I think what I liked most, where I saw the most vitality actually, was in the Roma community.
I'm thinking about my son too. My son is 11 years and he needs video plays, games, sophisticated games, screens all the time, TV and tablets and so many things. And when I see the same kids here are living without nothing, no technology, no techniques, they just have the feeling to live all together and to play together. And it's really much more alive and really much more safe for the kids. And I'm sorry for my son, I love him, but I would enjoy so much for him. He could share the same kinds of simple things, simple life with other kids in the street or in the woods.
With the music, and I've met many like different little artists.
So the exchange, yes, the exchange with local community here. So it was great, and it was a particular part of the camp that I like.
It shows that it's not enough to spend 2 weeks in a community, and like we are coming from outside, and we want to bring something good, but we actually do not know what people really need, and we don't even understand their lifestyle or the values or the culture. I can see lots of potential, especially in Gračanica, when it comes to renewable energy, when it comes to community gardening, when it comes to sustainable living as a community. But in the same time, I've been there only for 2 weeks, and it's not enough.
We are at this moment. We split. We have split ourselves in 4 groups, and we are making 4 different worlds to do these 2 weeks that we will be here.
We are making games for the kids so they can play. It's this one behind us, which the girls are painting right now. It's called the climate ladder. It's going to be something where the kids can play, and also it's something like educational.
It has the purpose to help children understand better the problem of the environment.
For example, if they fall into a power plant, then the game for them it's over, because they got a lot of smoke and a lot of not good gases or whatsoever.
you get back to the start. So you have to start again the game. And the river is a good thing. And then we have the tree. The tree is fresh air, means good environment, and it brings you like 3 steps forward. Then we have a healthy food that gets you energy, so you can throw the dice again another time. And then we have the opposite, so let's say junk food. With junk food you go back 3 sectors, 3 forwards.
This way it's easier for them to understand what is good and what is bad for them. Even they liked it very much, and I'm really happy.
We are working for the community that is here, and I don't know, I expect to be in touch with them and have a good experience with them and with the other volunteers.
Well, I think that the group was consisted of very strong individuals with very strong experiences, not all of them, but most of them. And that made the life during the work camp easier. I love the people. It's a really great group. Eflam is very reflective.
I'm working in the garden, a very dry garden, and dry plants, very bushes and grass everywhere. So we were 3 together, and the kids came from the Romani to help us. It was, I think, for the first day, quite good job. We cleaned the area before try to seem, not to seem, but to see and to grow something. Till I'm talking outside in this small garden. Inside they're talking about the climate justice. It's a very interesting subject, and Marta is a very good guide for talking about it. I did read all the text. All of us, we agree to talk about the same thing. We have almost the same opinions, and the cabit are still outside. They are not in the ground. So I think talking is very good. We need it. We need to share. We need to talk, but we need really much more action to create some kind of change in this world. We must do concretely.
What we're doing is we're recycling them into about ashtrays.
Surprise! We will tell you later, possibly, what will be growing in this garden.
Great job.
Vidimo se kasniđe.
As we build this garden, like next year we will have some products there, so like it can become also sustainable story for the future, not only for the learning center and the community, but also for other work camps. So like as we plant this year some apples, pears and spices and onion, garlic, so this will wait for us next year, I hope.
Milica has lots of energy and is always super positive, and also has a sweet personality. She manages to get away the message she wants.
Challenging conditions are also challenging ourselves to rethink, to look at the wider picture. So when we go out from the comfort zone, I think this makes us stronger later. Maybe in the moment when you are at the work camp and you are challenging yourself with without having water or electricity or not so comfortable place to sleep. It's also like a moment where you can reflect on yourself, like where you live and what is the world around you.
Od 10 kako stane do uveče do 10 nemamo.
Aha, od 10 ujutro do uveče do 10 nema?
Da.
Od 10? So from 10 to 10 there is no. But from 10 in the morning to the 10 in the night there is no water. And electricity, when it is, then it is.
I would actually change some things. I would make it even more simple and more sustainable. For instance, we could build a compost toilet, which could be also an example for the community how they can reuse the
waste, but at the same time use almost no water for the toilet. And the same with the energy. I would actually make them more simple and more sustainable, and maybe not necessarily more challenging, but to be an example also how to deal and live with energy and water cuts.
What I will bring back to wherever I go afterwards is the feeling that you can change things by doing just very little but nice activities, such as painting with children or doing recycling art, doing exhibitions, things like this.
We're recycling and upcycling a lot of the products. We have a lot of like old cans and old bottles that have been used, and what we're doing is we're recycling them into both ashtrays and, similar to a chandelier, to hold candlesticks and to add a new kind of element to it. We've done this through reusing and upcycling of the old beer cans, the old cans. And then this is an example of the light fixture. You put string through there and you hang it, and you hang a candle in it, and it adds an atmosphere. And that's what we've been doing. We're preparing a lot of the stuff for the exhibition. We're using all different kinds of materials. We're learning a lot of different ways to use the materials, and I think it's coming across quite well.
Yes, I suppose when I will back in Brittany, maybe I won't have the same look about gypsies, about Roma communities, because even if you feel open, when you hear all the time the same song about the people, you believe in it. Until you don't go to share and to meet them, you believe in it. And that's why that is a lesson I like. It's just to not to have bad opinions and go inside the people and meet them, and after do your own judgment about the situation, about the people, but never trust what the tongue said about the people. That's the kind of lesson I could bring back in Brittany.
Create a Climate for Peace will continue, and definitely SCI will be working on climate justice issues.
Create climate for peace.
Yeah, like maybe we hope that in 5-10 years behind us there will be windmills and solar panels, and that everybody will be able to make their own solar collectors for heating up water, that we will not have to breathe in this nice air coming from the cloud factory.
Pierre planted the seed long time ago. I think that we also this year plant some seeds in Kosovo.